The most important stock in the market is arguably Apple. There's a big question as to whether Apple will now continue on its march from 150 to 200. It's had a wonderful year as we go into the iPhone 8 cycle, the big new iPhone that's going to be released this fall, everybody expects. But recently, Apple's actually been lagging the market a little bit, and there are a couple of concerns around that. One is that the launch of the iPhone will be delayed into October. The other is that the rumors are that the iPhone will be priced at $1,000, which is well above the current iPhone, and that ultimately people will not pay for it, and so you won't have such a big product cycle as expected. So let's look at those. Can the market continue? Can the run continue? First, it's important to understand what the delay concern is. We're talking about a question of whether the iPhone launches at the end of September and therefore hits the third quarter for Apple, which is their fiscal fourth quarter, or launches in October and therefore doesn't come in until the next fiscal year. And where this will matter is on August 1st, when Apple reports its calendar second quarter earnings. The guidance that Apple gives will depend heavily on whether the new iPhone launches at the end of September or in October. And so very easy to imagine that people are startled and disappointed by low guidance if the iPhone is going to launch in October. Important thing to remember is long term, this is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. We're talking about a week or two on either side as long as they launch the phone in October. Still have a huge calendar fourth quarter, so it won't matter, but it's something to watch out for on the call, is the guidance and understanding when the phone is expected to launch. Second question about price and features. Apple is expected to raise the price of the phone to $1,000, which will drive up the average selling price of the iPhone, make it even more profitable. A lot of folks are expecting that this will be a super cycle where we have a new high for iPhone sales, but Wall Street's actually in disagreement about this. Lots of folks think that the market is saturated. Wall Street is too optimistic in thinking that Apple will sell almost 250 million iPhones in 2018, and ultimately think that folks are overshooting. One analyst in particular says he thinks they'll only do 230 million. Morgan Stanley's Katie Huberty says 266 million, so a big wide range. But on the stock, in my experience, and in looking at how Apple stock has performed on other big iPhone launches, what you want to do is buy the rumor and the run-up, and then don't stick around for the actual news. The past two big iPhone launches, the stock has run up in advance and ultimately peaked in the fourth quarter before we get the results on how many iPhones are selling. So in other words, if the stock is going to continue its run toward 200, which would make it a first trillion-dollar company, it's likely to happen in the next quarter or two, and ultimately next year's news will be old news at that point. So the story still seems intact.